pause to record. This will be recorded. So if you want to catch up on anything you've missed, how you talking about, then you could watch it on the recording. First, I want to start off. My name is Menachem. This is Mushka, and we are here to talk today about emotional safety and how it looks like in marriage, but also how it can work in any relationship that you have, friends, coworkers, and siblings, parents, and stuff, etc. And this is part of a larger message that Mushka and I are trying to share with the world. We created a space here in Baltimore called the ARBAYIT House, ARBAYIT Space, where we host circles, healing gatherings, and the purpose of it is to bring Jewish souls together, like-minded individuals who want something more authentic, a more authentic way of living their Jewish way of life in a community, to feel at home. And this is part of it to show how to bring that way of living into your own home. So you can create your own ARBAYIT space. Don't compete with us, but I mean the tools. Okay. All right. So if you want to find out more about ARBAYIT, you can always just check out our Instagram. We have the website almost up, and we have events coming up. We have women's circles, men's bring-ins, retreats, and some good parties sometimes. We just had one Sunday night. It was a lot of fun. And if you were in Baltimore and you missed it, do not worry. We have more coming. Please don't, join. And then we have a WhatsApp chat. You can also be part of our WhatsApp chat to see our events. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, there's also a comment box and a question and answer. And if there's anything that you want to comment or ask, there's also the option of it being anonymous and nobody will see if there's anything that you want us to address or that we missed during this call.
And we'll answer, we'll get to questions and answers towards the end. We're going to go to about around 9:05, and then we'll go to questions and answers and then for like 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll be over. Then you can go to sleep. Okay.
Yeah. So a little bit about our story and why emotional safety in particular is a really prevalent topic for us, as we've been married almost 13 years. And about 7 years ago, we realized that things were not doing so great in our relationship. And a big part of that was also in the way that we were communicating and our very different communication styles. I would naturally shut down. You can say what maybe and Menachem was would blame, and it was just an accuse.
It was very loud.
And so we were going through quite intense struggles at the time, and not being able to communicate and not having that emotional safety in our relationship only made things worse. And so we realized that we needed help, and it's okay to ask for help when we know that we can't do it ourselves. And we met with therapists and a really great couples therapist who helped us practice a lot of tools for our relationship, and provided this space, like a really safe space where we could share and we could feel heard and validated with each other in front of her. And so having that place, and that's something that's great about a couples therapist, is that there's a third party who can help kind of give their perspective and also tell one of you when to be quiet, when to tell the other person to talk. So I naturally would shut down and avoid, and she gave me the space to say, okay, you need to express your feelings, and Menachem, you need to be quiet and listen right now. So we did a lot of work in therapy. And I remember the day we graduated from therapy, because thankfully, we had kind of learned a lot, and we wanted to be able to practice it on our own and put those tools to use in our everyday life. And so over the years, that's what we've done, and we've shared them with others. And people who want help or support or know parts of our story will ask us for some of those tools, and we just feel that now it's a good time to start sharing them with anyone else who may use them. And again, this can be used in many different circumstances, obviously just adjusted depending on the relationships, but it's very important tools to just have in your toolbox. Yeah.
I've known times London, or you want to think about a personal experience.
Yeah. So I did that. So emotional safety, which is the whole theme, how to create that emotional safety. Before we even talk about how to get there, for some people that term may never have heard of that term, emotional safety. And so to understand how to get emotional safety, how to create emotional safety, we have to look at what emotional safety even means. And there's the emotion side of it, and that is the I express how I feel, and emotion is really just energy in motion. It's a very personal, unique experience that I am going through in that moment, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with feeling it, with experiencing it. Is unique to you, and it's okay to have. The part of that is how we express that feeling. And when we have that emotion, are we being sure that we can use I statements, that we are coming from us? We're talking about us. We're not blaming. We're not feeling a certain way and putting that on the other person. Sometimes it may seem that someone did something that hurt us, but we don't say, because you hurt me, you made me angry. It's, I am feeling angry. I am feeling sad. The other person is just doing what they do, and in response, it creates this feeling inside of us. So that's the emotional part of it. The safety and creating that safety is knowing that you have this kind of space and container to express as I am. So however I feel, I know that it's okay to express it. And that's on this relationship, this partnership, having this, creating this safe space so that we can express however I show up.
Now, we're going to, when we talk about this, Mushka, we're going to be talking about a marriage and about Mushka trying to express and the man trying to stay quiet. It's not just stereotyping, because this was our experience. But it can work the other way around. So it's not just so you know. As a man, this is what I did. My personal experience is that how did I not create emotional safety? So now you can know what to do. Mushka would express feeling hurt. I wouldn't give her time to express fully. I would interrupt. So the safety part is, number one, don't interrupt. It's one of the biggest things is shh. Just keep the mouth closed. Like if you can take invisible tape and put it over your mouth, that's what you need to do. Take an invisible tape and go. The one thing we used when we didn't have a mediator in between is a talking stick. A lot of you know, if you've been to any of my circles or Mushka circles or retreats, the biggest thing we have the talking stick. If you have the talking stick, you get to speak. You don't have the talking stick, guess what? Shh, and listen. It's very important. It's kind of like a symbol to your face, like your body your eyes are seeing it. Like This is where I need to be quiet. And it won't go into like default mode. That's why I think it's super important. It doesn't have to be a stick. It can be a rock. It can be an apple, a spoon, whatever. Take something so one person feels like a power now to speak, and the other person has a visual where the eye subconscious sees, hey, it's not my turn to talk right now. The subconscious is watching. That's number one. And safety looks like, okay, so not knowing, like keeping yourself quiet first. And it could be what happens is, and we're gonna show you soon how we practice it. So you get to actually see how to do it without responding, and even better to not would say is, oh, it's so sad. Sometimes I guess later, I guess when we little later, okay, maybe this part's a little more deep. Okay, I'm gonna hold off on that part. But in terms of safety, yeah, so not to interrupt, and when they share, not to go into reasoning and, but you said it, but you did this, so you told me that, let's say Mushka tells me to take out the trash. I'll say, but I was working all day, so I don't have to do it, or but I didn't want to. There's no real reasons, because you're not really dealing with a logic, you're dealing with your emotions. So there's no point of going into reasoning because you're dealing with an emotion. And the only way, I believe, the only way to truly meet another emotion is holding it with her and saying, I hear you. That's it. Now, what can happen is it could come up. It could be a trigger in me when Mushka says something to me that maybe I feel blame. So that I feel it in me. And my job is to learn how to put the tape on and to breathe. I hear you. I hear you. Okay? I hear you. It's hard. It's hard in the beginning. If you're definitely not used to it, if you're definitely not used to your nervous system, if your nervous system is a little out of whack, it's not gonna, it feels attacked. Then it'll be like, oh, what do you mean I did something wrong? Especially a man, can be very hard. And when you learn how to put the tape on and just breathe and feel that feeling, you learn how to create the space for her.
Can I just add to that? I feel like with a lot of these also more intense conversations, if you find yourself in like these repeat patterns of, one of you getting defensive, or there is blame, or you start to get a little aggressive, agitated, it's likely that past wound could be getting activated. And so in these situations, if you're not looking at yourself and not looking at what's getting activated in here, yes, you will repeat the same patterns, because at the end of the day, like Menachem said, it's not about you. It's about the other person. It's not about yourself. And some people take it personally, or will get really defensive because something's coming up, and it's like maybe something from your childhood, maybe something from a previous relationship, and you'll keep repeating it until you take a look at it, and you can say to yourself, okay, this isn't about me right now, and I need to be there for my partner.
Yep. A couple more things on the safety part is the tone. And that's something that I constantly work on. I have sometimes get a very passionate turned aggressive, was the word we used once, a couple of times. The tone is important. Then maybe Mushka took more about the tone, but and the emotional availability. Now, this is when if someone comes home from work and you walk into the kitchen, it's not time to have that deep conversation. It's not. You want to talk about your day, maybe give it in like a snippet or whatever, talk about it, or just understand that none of you are ready to go deep with the kids screaming and you feeding dinner, doing homework. It's just not going to happen. And creating the space is key, and physical space. So taking time at night when the kids are asleep, It's not when you're doing bath time. No, it's not when you have that deep conversation. And if you ever had a deep conversation when you're doing other stuff, you know it's going sideways. It's like basically being on your phone and trying to talk. So it's just not going to happen. So usually what we do it is we'll sit across from each other when it's quiet, and we'll start, and we're going to show you how we do it. And we start talking, and we make sure that we're not being disturbed by phones. Phones are in airplane mode or out of the room. Out of the room, shouldn't even be there, like nowhere. You shouldn't be grabbing for it unless, I guess, it's an emergency. I don't know, but really, away, distractions, all distractions away, and really being present. And for the man, not for the man, for each of you is to calm the nervous system down. Do some breath work before. When we used to go to couples therapy, it took me 20 minutes to calm my body down. I was so agitated. I try not to be, but the body works its own ways. I was kept them moving, and it was like this, and scratch, and like this, like 20 minutes straight. And my therapist was just watch until eventually I calmed down. What else is there? Safety.
Yeah, and something that you mentioned also about the time and place is sometimes you might need a schedule. It depends on the conversation. Maybe you can say, okay, tonight at 8 p.m. Let's create a space and we can sit down and talk. But for some things, if it's going to be more of a deeper conversation, or there's something really on your mind and it's a little bit more deeper, you want to be smart about it. You don't want it to just keep sitting there and kind of it'll turn into a resentment or into shutting down or a snappiness if it waits too long. But also if it's going to be a big deal, to have it set in stone and to say, okay, we need to sit down. There's something that I really need to share. How can we make it the best? Because I have learned that sometimes, personally, my personal experience is that sometimes if I do wait too long and I can go back to like my default, like factory setting of avoiding and shutting down, and then it takes, I don't know, a few days before Menachem says, it seems like something is bothering you. Do you want to sit down and talk about it? And then I'll be like, yes, you're right. I just wish I could avoid it, but obviously I can't. And then we have those conversations.
Okay. We're now going to do a demonstration how we do it. We're going to go through the steps and tools and talk about something that that could have happened.
This is very surface level.
Yeah, it's a surface level interaction. There are very deep levels where we had very deep conversations in terms of our marriage, very, very deep and very raw. And I found for myself, I was not taught how to talk like this. I wasn't taught how to listen and to hear another human being, especially a woman. And I found there's a certain level of a kedusha or sacredness in holding this space and how deep you can go. Okay. So the first thing is you sit side to side.
Face to face.
So face to face. Because we're the same side. Yeah.
We can pretend.
No. Come on. You actually do it. Yeah, move around. And if you can, and were we touching our knees? I don't remember if we were touching on it. We would try to get pretty close. And the first thing you can do is you're going to look eye to eye. And just be aware, if you have a hard time looking eye to eye to someone else, you could, or when you're talking to someone, especially like this, you could see when they're looking away, it means they're trying to avoid. It's very, very vulnerable and beautiful. Trust me, beautiful.
Sometimes it can also be helpful to practice, even just staring at yourself in the mirror. Like if you have a hard time maintaining eye contact with someone, we've had it hard at sometimes. But if you stare into the mirror and just try hold eye contact to practice. Okay.
We're gonna practice, and then we'll explain what we did.
Okay.
Start that. There we go.
It meant a lot to me when you took out the garbage today.
It meant a lot to me, and I want to affirm and thank you for getting the kids today and making the potatoes.
Okay.
Loud so they can hear.
Okay.
Everyone can hear.
I feel annoyed when I have to do bedtime on my own. Bedtime for the kids on my own.
What I'm hearing you say is that you feel annoyed when you have to do bedtime alone. Anything more you want to share on that?
Yes, I wish that I could have a partnership in this part of our night routine.
What I'm hearing you say is that you want to have a partnership in this night routine. Okay. You know anything more?
That's it.
Okay. What can I do to help you or to be there for you next time?
It would mean a lot if we could communicate before about the events of the night, if one of us might not be home, and how we can support each other in advance.
Okay, what I'm hearing you say is that in the future, you want me to communicate before I'm going somewhere in advance, so this way you can know how I can help you.
Mm-hmm.
I get that right?
Yeah. Okay. Good one.
And then give a hug after. Okay, so we would do that. So we were talking. So that's okay. That's just a very short version, very surface level. But that's the idea. So we want to go through the steps. So step number one is you sit across from each other and you look each other in the eye. Ground yourself first. Allow yourself to feel your body. And if it's a little agitated, it's moving around, it's okay. Notice and be with it. And you affirm your partner. What there's something that you found that they did beautiful for you. Oh wow, thank you for this. Maybe getting me flowers, maybe cooking food. Anything can be as simple as closing, opening the door for you. So just affirm. So you're giving a compliment. And then you move into the emotion. What were you feeling? Now I'll give you from our personal experience, not the details, but some things that I did that were pretty harsh. And Mushka would have to then see how she felt. Not in terms of this is how she felt, like something happened. There was something hit the wall, and she felt scared or whatever. And then I would listen. I wouldn't assume anything. I wouldn't come up with conclusions. I would repeat what she said. That's it. I wouldn't. And if it was a lot, I would try to come the best of my ability. And if I didn't say everything, I would ask her, is there more? Did I get that right? And if she says, no, you didn't get, she would say more. And then we would go again. And if I didn't get everything right, again. And again, till everything comes out. And then I would ask, what do you need from me? A lot of times there could be resentment, you're not there for me in this. Correct. But right now, you're sitting in front of the person. I'm here for you. These are the words you can use. I'm here for you right now. what can I do to help you in the future? Or what can I do to help? Or what can I do to make you feel safe? That was a big one for us, make you feel safe. And then she'll go on and explain. And then and then the next person, the person who's helping, I'm getting a little lost here. But I guess for me, what I would do is I would then look into my own world and say, hey, why am I not acting up to this? What's going on? Like, why can't I make her feel safe? What am I doing that's not? And then I go into myself and be like, all right, she told me how to make her feel safe. Go do it. There's the answer. It's not, I always just think it's rocket science. It's not rocket science. You just got to be quiet, listen, repeat it. Okay, go do it. It could be hard, but simple. Did I get that? If you don't, I think I put it down clearly. If you want me to repeat that, you should put in the comments. We'll go and repeat it. The necessary steps. And then afterwards, always end with a hug. And that was our therapist is and a long hug, not those short ones, but quick in and out. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, so it kind of seems like because we've elaborated on this and exaggerated, it seems like, anytime I want to have a conversation, it has to be such a big deal. And for more, more serious topics, yes, maybe you do need to set aside time and really be present in this experience of, active listening and things like that. But if it is something like, we need to do bedtime better together, like this example, it doesn't have to be such a big deal. It can take 5 minutes. We just kind of exaggerated it, but really the big part in all, the big message in all of this is to express yourself and for the other person to hear you, validate you, and hold space for it. Really, that's what it comes down to, however it looks for you in, time-wise.
Yeah. And I don't know if we spoke about, the idea of not to blame or not to blame. Yeah.
Keep an eye. This is about us. And also we're not trying to, in that moment, there's no fixing. When it comes to a feeling, when it comes to an emotion, it's again, an expression of me. It's something within me. And so I don't need it to be fixed. I don't need what I'm going through to be fixed. And sometimes if there is something that I do want fixed in my life, or I really need help, I'll say it and say it. Say this is a conversation where I'm really looking for your advice. I'm really looking for your ideas. And so I'm going to express how I'm feeling. And, I want you to hear me. And I also would like some ideas or, resources, whatever that is.
And I want to say is that some conversation like this, now in the past, right, I'm all in my head. I want to just do whatever I want to do, selfish style, whatever it is. And Mushka comes to me and tells me help with bedtime, or you never hear it, that. I would go bananas. Like, what? I'm not here. Oh, I need to work all day. Oh, usual excuses. By the way, this I do help in bedtime. Okay, it's
This
just
was a fake
there was a fake. We just But the point is that because we practice going to those deep levels, having deep conversations, and learning how to really hold space, now when we need to talk about something difficult, where it's not necessarily super difficult, just something small like that, we can do it where she shares about something and I learn how to just not take it personal, because we've been practicing for so long how to not take things so personal when one of us shares something, how we're feeling. It's a feeling. Okay. It's your feeling. I can't really fix it. I can be there with you holding it. And that's that. Now, another thing about trust, how to build trust. Because emotional safety, and I could share, and a big thing, at least for me, was keep my mouth. So let's say Mushka is sharing something that I did. Sometimes I hurt her, right? If I react not in a healthy manner, in a grounded presence way, she won't trust. She's like, okay, I'm not talking. Okay, well, I don't want to bring this topic up again.
And can I just give my side of
Right?
it?
I'm not done. Okay.
That and that is, kind of like that reinforcement, the negative and positive reinforcement, that if in the past, if I expressed that I was hurt by something, and then Menachem would take that and, say, but I this and you this, and get all angry, that would just show me, oh, okay, I can't express myself next time. I can't share how I'm feeling because I'm just going to get yelled at, or he's just going to be defensive about it. So it's kind of better for me to keep my mouth shut. And then that would reinforce that negative behavior that I was accustomed to. So going back to why it's so important to what you were saying.
Yeah. And I know we didn't speak about what happens, I want to say my side of the story. And that comes with, I guess, more practice and first learning how to be silent. If that's your thing, I was more of the aggressor in a way, always saying, you didn't, I didn't do anything, and it's not my fault, whatever. Being more vocal. And so my job was to be more quiet. Mushka's job was to speak more. So it could be that your roles, husband and wife, or relationships are different. So whatever you do more of, you got to learn how to practice how to do the other way. And building trust is with action. And when each time you learn how to act differently, trust starts to build. It doesn't just happen. It builds like a muscle. A consistency. Consistency is the key. The way you know something's going to happen, consistency. Support and honesty. This is how you build trust. And I think, remember, Mushka always used to tell me, I promise I'll do this for you. I would tell her in therapy, I'm going to do it. But then I needed to do the action. Because without action, she wouldn't trust. She says, don't tell me, show me. Just do the work. Just do the action. And that's what I think is, like the Baba Rebbe says, Meiser. The key is the doing.
Yeah. And sometimes that can look like doing the dishes when you say you're going to do the dishes. And sometimes it can be like doing the emotional work of processing triggers, so that you don't show up defensive to a conversation. So whatever it is, your partner wants to see that you're following through on those actions to continue creating and building the trust and the safety.
Okay, now we'll go to if anyone has any questions or comments, and we'll go, and then we're going to end. We're going to end in about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Can you go? So the first question is, hey, can you go a little deeper into how breathing calms the nervous system? Okay. The first, I wouldn't, well, scientifically, I can't give the actual reasons why, but I don't know. I don't know where it comes from scientifically exactly, but I do know that the only way we can learn how to calm ourselves down is with breath. At least what they say. That's the way I do it. So when I feel my nervous system out of whack, so it depends. Like if I'm sitting down and Mushka and I have to have it, when we used to have a deep conversation, it was just being present with my body and being aware. So that wasn't like I was in full fight or flight danger, like I was in let's say there's an attack or something. So it's a very different, what my nervous system is not really in a kick and adrenaline. It's like a minute, it thinks it's in fight or flight. So it just needs to remind my nervous system, hey. And then it wants to move around and to learn how to just stay there and notice it. This is what I do. So I don't know scientifically how it works exactly, or they say, but what I'll do is I'll breathe, deep breaths, and then just exhale and just notice what wants to move around and just kind of like say to it, I see you in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Breathing also brings more oxygen into your body, and sometimes when your nervous system is in fight or flight, it needs a little bit more of that oxygen and brings you into like a very slow present state. So you're not in that respond fight, flight, freeze response. You're in a more calm present.
Now, to answer your question, I don't know exactly 100%, but I do know it helps me. So I guess.
And also, you've led a lot of breath work circles, and they've been extremely helpful. So you're doing something, right?
Yeah. No, but I believe it has something to do with the fear, parts of the brain of the fear, and it basically kind of like it shortens our breath, especially in the chest. We start breathing, it starts opening up those valves. I believe that's what it is scientifically.
Okay.
Another question. What if your partner isn't willing to do any of this? This is the hard question for me, because I'm just a simple man. I'm like, I don't know. So the truth is, no, that's what I was saying. The truth is, what doesn't the partner not want to do? So does not want to have that conversation, does not want to have these, I don't know, spiritual weird thing. What exactly don't they want to do?
Right. And also because there are varying degrees of how your partner shows up. Are they not willing to hear you at all? Are they not willing to learn more about creating emotional safety? That's kind of like where to start with. How does your partner want to show up? And in any of this, it really is continuing to be open about how you feel. And if you're in a healthy, loving, supportive relationship with more of that expression of your wants and needs, hopefully they would understand how important it is for you. And if you can express yourself, and there have been many conversations that we've had where one of us really needed the support of the other person in whatever this decision was. And so it needed to be like reiterating that I need this and I really need your support. And this is what it means for me. This is what I need from you, and leading with that. And hopefully over time they come around.
And I believe once men see that it's not so scary, and they know how to hold themselves, men, when I say men stereotype, but again, it's me, they'll actually enjoy it. Like, whoa, I can share whoa, what's going on here? I can talk to my wife, so open, wow. Yeah.
What if I have a hard time expressing myself? Well, this is perfect, because this was me. I had a really hard time expressing myself. And, again, are you having a hard time expressing your feelings? Are you having a hard time sharing your feelings in any situation, being vulnerable? But for me, I had a hard time being vulnerable. I had a hard time expressing myself anywhere, anytime, but then even more so in my relationship. And what helped that was, besides for my couples therapist, who literally forced me to say, okay, you need to share how you feel right now. It's a safe space. But also with that was just time and practice, and doing so with these types of tools, and knowing that my husband was continuing to offer that space for me to do so. And so the practice, and even sometimes practicing in the mirror, writing something up and saying it in the mirror, or reaffirming yourself in the mirror. I actually used to have affirmations inside my closet door, just that I could repeat out loud about myself, to know what it felt like to express how I felt, my needs, what I wanted, what I wanted to say, things like that.
I used to write up what I wanted to share, because if not, it would come out like a tornado, or like a hurricane, freaking everything's everywhere. So it's good to write, get precise and focused. Thanks. Can this be used in other relationships? Yes. It's unbelievable how, I mean, I work with individuals one-on-one. Mushka works with people, so it's beautiful to just see how you just sit and people just share. And when you don't try to fix, and you just, all right, I hear you, and then they just go, and it's beautiful. People just want to talk to you and be around you. It doesn't have to be personal, and so personal or so deep, beautiful way. And I would say in relationship to, like, even in work, I mean, just talking to, imagine let's say you're a boss or you work for someone, and I know I'm a boss, and you're talking to work and you say, hey, how come you're doing it wrong? Or what's going on over here? And then they share with you, and it can be or you share how you're feeling, and it can be such a beautiful way to connect. They feel heard. I think it's this. Well, I don't know if you need to do the whole sit eye to eye thing. That can be a little intimidating.
Especially if they don't know what they're getting into.
Yeah, but just sitting across, if you sit behind a desk and you have someone else come and talk to you behind the desk, just sitting across and just listening, and then repeating back what they said. We practiced it at work once. I remember we used to practice it at work as well. And you have to kind of just fine tune the words a bit, but it works wonders. It really does, to make, especially here when you're working with people, to make them feel heard. That's where a lot of the disconnect happens.
Yeah, people get pleasantly surprised when they realize that someone's actually listening and validating them. I believe that we're just so used to, how are you? Good. What's going on? Oh, nothing. We just aimlessly converse sometimes because we just assume that nobody's really going to hold space for us. And then we maybe accidentally overshare one time. And if you're lucky, that person will really hear you. And hopefully you can try again.
You be the change. Yeah. You be the change. You start the change. Like, okay, here, I want to listen. You want to do the next one?
How do I know if our communication style is not working? So there are many different ways to communicate, and you'll know if you know. And I would say that most of the time you would know if you're repeating the same patterns, if you're getting into the same conversations, same arguments, same kind of like defense mechanisms, and you'll know that something isn't right and something needs to be changed. And so that would be where, you could look at incorporating some tools, or you could, look up or, research other tools that may be helpful for your particular communication style. This is a different topic, but everyone has, there are many different communication styles, and everyone has one. And also, depending on your upbringing, and there are many different things that shape your communication style. And so maybe just saying, what is my communication style and what is my partner's, and what can we do differently to help us, get to the bottom of things differently. Yeah. How to introduce this into a new relationship?
Oh, you take that.
So yeah, it can be scary, it can be intimidating to be so vulnerable. But if there is any time to introduce this, it is at the start of a new relationship, because for us, we were probably married 6 or so years before we had, I would say, a healthy conversation. And
that's too good.
We could have had
something. So I pause as I'm laughing. It's just that.
It's okay to laugh.
No, I'm just saying. I just whatever.
Yeah. No, we had to have many decent conversations. But the best time is to do it when you're starting a relationship, and it can be scary. It can be like, I don't want to, start telling them to listen to me and hold space for me, and I don't want to express my feelings. I don't want to be vulnerable. But really, if this is the right relationship for you, and if this is going to be a healthy relationship, and this is something you truly care about in terms of emotional safety and being heard and healthy conversations, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If it scares the person and they run away, obviously it wasn't meant to be. And I do believe that this is a really important conversation to have. Especially the beginning of the dating, there's a lot of like fluff and a lot of fun, and you don't want to have any deep conversations, but just to introduce this idea and to talk about how important it is to you, if it is important to you, and take it from there.
Okay.
Any last questions or comments?
If not, we love that you joined. We hope, and if you need any more support in this, feel free to reach out to any of us to talk about it, and send us your partner. If one of you are watching it, and then so send us the other, and the other one.
Yeah. We offer circles for men and women, gatherings, events, retreats, workshops, and we'd love for you to be at something and join us, and we'd love to help you and connect with you all.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Good night, Lala Tov. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.